Okay, let's reframe something. What if finding love wasn't just a game of luck? What if it was an epic adventure? That's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to look at the search for a partner as what it truly can be. A hero's journey to finding real, true love.
So, our quest? It starts right here. I mean, look at this. Because let's be honest, finding love today, it isn't just dating, is it? It's a full-on quest. The whole modern landscape, it demands the courage and the wisdom of a hero. Someone who's actually ready to face some pretty real challenges for an absolutely extraordinary prize.
So, what exactly is this battlefield we're talking about? Well, it's the modern dating world, right? A place just filled with hidden dangers, where, let's face it, toxic patterns are kinda normalized, and a real deep connection, that's often treated like it's optional. This is our call to adventure.
And you know, just like in any great story, this hero's journey has two fronts. You've got the dangers from the outside. We're talking manipulators, deception, just plain disrespect. But honestly, the even greater challenge, that comes from within. It's about healing those old wounds, finally overcoming that self-doubt, and learning how to truly trust yourself again.
All right, so our first big test on this quest is knowing your enemy. I mean, before you can even think about finding true love, you've got to be able to spot the common toxic archetypes that pretend to be the real thing. So let's break down the 4 main adversaries you're likely to face. First up, you've got the manipulator, the one who uses gaslighting and makes you question your own sanity. Then there's the inconsistent ghost. Their hot and cold behavior is designed to keep you totally anxious and hooked. Of course, you'll also run into the emotionally unavailable, who just offers these little breadcrumbs of hope but never any real commitment. And finally, the disrespectful, the one who slowly, little by little, erodes your self-worth with put-downs and by crossing your boundaries. But here's the big question. Why are we so often drawn to these people? Well, this quote just nails it. It's something called the deprivation pattern. See, our brains are literally wired to go after what feels familiar, even when familiar means painful. It's wild, right? We unconsciously mistake that knot of anxiety in our stomach for chemistry, and we see someone's unavailability as some kind of challenge we need to win. But here's the secret. The key to breaking this pattern isn't to fight it head-on. It's to understand where it comes from, deep inside ourselves.
So, okay, that leads us to maybe the most important question of this entire quest. How in the world do you defeat these monsters you keep running into? The answer? Well, it's probably not what you think.
Because here's the twist. The real battle isn't won by fighting them. Nope, it's won by turning inward. This is that classic part of the journey where the hero has to retreat, go into the cave, and forge their real power. See, your greatest weapon, it isn't a sword or a shield. It's self-awareness. It's all about entering your own inner cave, so to speak, to really understand your patterns, your fears, and to find the lessons that are hidden inside all those past heartbreaks. This is where your true strength really begins. And inside that cave, you start building an inner fortress, but not with bricks of anger or resentment. No, you build it with self-compassion. Because when you start treating yourself with kindness and respect, you become, and I love how the source material puts this, allergic to disrespect. It's like you just naturally start to repel anyone who would treat you poorly. Okay, so once that inner work has started, it's time to gear up. We've got to equip ourselves for the journey ahead. And this is all about building the armor of true strength. And look, this isn't just any old armor we're talking about. This armor is forged from the wisdom you've gained and the self-love you've been cultivating. It's the absolute essential protective gear you need before you even think about looking for a partner. Okay, now what's so cool about this is how it totally redefines what we think of as strength. So often, we mistake false strength, domination, control, always hiding your vulnerability for the real deal. But true strength, the kind a hero has, is this powerful mix of compassion, resilience, and, I love this phrase, kindness as quiet power. It's about having super firm boundaries for sure, but also being able to communicate them with empathy. All right, so now you're armored up with self-awareness and that true strength we just talked about. Now it's time to go out and find your heroic partner. And listen, this isn't about finding someone to rescue or someone to rescue you. It's about finding an equal to stand right there beside you. So, what exactly are we looking for in this person? Well, first things first, forget the superficial checklists. The whole thing comes down to character. You have to ask the real questions. Do they have integrity when things get tough?
Are they emotionally reliable? Do you guys share the same core values? And maybe most important of all, does being with them encourage you to grow into more of who you're meant to be?
This chart right here just perfectly explains what it means to be realistically picky. Look, you can be flexible on your preferences. Things like hobbies, height, their job. That stuff can change. But you have to be absolutely uncompromising on your principles. These are the non-negotiables: respect, honesty, kindness. That right there is the whole key.
And this all leads to what we could call the partnership principle. The goal here isn't to find your missing half. That's a myth. Real love, true love, is when two whole, complete people make a conscious choice to build a shared life, a shared mission, and to grow together side by side.
Which brings us to the final chapter of our quest. Because you see, this whole journey, it was never just about finding someone. It was always about the transformation you had to go through to get there. This is the triumphant return home.
Think about it like this. The right partnership doesn't complete you. It reveals you. It's like a mirror that reflects back your highest potential. All those battles you fought along the way, building that self-awareness, learning to set boundaries, all of that forged you into the person who is now capable of having and sustaining this kind of extraordinary connection.
And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? The ultimate prize of the hero's journey isn't getting saved. It's about becoming your own hero. And then finding another hero who has done their own work so you can come together and build something truly incredible as a team.
So, at the end of the day, remember this. This entire journey, it starts with you. Your greatest adventure, your own personal hero's journey, it begins the very moment you decide it does. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready?